Why men deserve less. This is my decentering men video that was highly requested on our community tab, and in this video I'm going to be highlighting the reasons why us women, especially us African American women, need to stop pedestalizing male validation and instead focus on our own self-love and self-improvement. So let's just hop straight into this. I'm not afraid to admit that my title inspiration came from the podcaster Myron Gaines, who wrote the book Why Women Deserve Less. For those of you who are not familiar, he co-hosts a podcast called Fresh and Fit with another guy whose name that no one can remember because, let's be honest, Myron Lames, does most of the talking. Every now and then he does spit some truths about how crazy the political left is and how feminism actually is masculinizing women. However, other than that, his talking points are mostly very misogynistic, sexist, anti-woman. And there's many other, copycat podcasts that have like a similar format, but for the most part are saying the same thing, but packaged differently. And it all stems from their savior, literally the Jesus Christ of the manosphere, Kevin Samuels. The irony of the situation is that these red pill junkies who have overdosed on red pill content don't even realize that they are the male version of the feminists that they claim they can't stand. I mean, think about it, you guys. They are the same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum. Feminists, they blame all of women's problems on men. They have a profound resentment and hatred towards men, and that is the same thing that is found in the red pill community, except for it is in the reverse. They blame everything on women. They have a profound hatred and resentment for women because maybe, they didn't get the pretty girl when they were in high school or when they were in college. And now these men are grown and they're taking out their childhood insecurities on women who are half their age. Or women in general, women that they don't even know, because they talk shit about older women too, and I'm going to touch on that in this video as well. But back to the point, I kind of went on a tangent there. These podcast clowns don't even realize that vocalizing their sexist talking points is actually making women discover why men deserve less and not the other way around. So thank you, Myron Gaines, for waking us women up to this reality. So the first thing that Myron Gaines and so many other male podcasters say that make me believe that men deserve less is that men are always going to have a wandering eye, and one woman will never be enough for them sexually, even if they're with the girl of their dreams. Furthermore, they go on to say that a woman should be tolerant of a man's cheating and corn watching, especially if he is quote-unquote high value because he has worked too hard just to reduce himself to one woman. He's worked too hard to be monogamous to one woman. Men want variety. One day he might want a skinny woman, a thick woman, a white woman, a Latin woman, an Asian woman, or whatever woman. And you are the one who has nerve if you expect a man not to give in to his sexual fetishes when he's in a relationship with you. And my opinion on this is, if I'm never going to be enough for my partner, if he's always going to fantasize and fetishize and pedestalize different looking women, then I'm not going to make that individual the center of my life, because clearly I'm not the center of his. Additionally, I'm not going to try to appeal to the male gaze 24/7 if the male gaze is constantly changing, because it's like these red pill junkies say. One day I might want a thick woman, one day I might want a skinny woman, one day I might want a light-skinned woman, one day I might want a dark-skinned woman, or one day I might want a woman with curly hair, or one day I might want a woman with straight hair. You guys get the point. I'm not going to try to adhere to their standard if the standard is constantly changing. I'm not going to try to meet their goal if the goalpost is constantly changing. What it makes sense to do instead is to adhere to your own standard of beauty, adhere to your own standard of womanhood, regardless of the male gaze, because the male gaze, as I said before, constantly changes. One day a man can like a straight-haired woman, the next day he can want a curly-haired woman. But regardless of what men want at the moment, you are still you, and you still have beauty that's worthy of celebration and praise, regardless if your beauty is within the context of the male gaze or not. Right now, I am speaking particularly to my dark-skinned girlies because this is the dark-skin clique. A lot of us get all in our feelings because, we feel like that we don't adhere to the male gaze because most men talk about how they prefer lighter skinned women or like white women or Latin women or whatever. And I will say this, their perception of you does not have to be your perception of yourself. You don't have to be down on your West African features or your dark skin or your type 4 hair just because it doesn't adhere to the male gaze or it's not in the context of the male gaze. Just look at the beautiful girl who's on the screen right now, the 100% Nigerian model, Eniola Abirio. Forgive me if I pronounce her name wrong, I'm American. She is absolutely stunning with or without the male gaze. She doesn't need American men to like dark-skinned women to be beautiful. Another talking point that they have that makes me believe that men actually deserve less is that women expire once they turn 25. Oh, and when they hit 30, they are damaged goods. They're no longer pretty. They got all these wrinkles at age 30. They need a cane to walk. They're such an old woman, and men want women who are 18 to 25. And this talking point is stupid, the whole older women have less value thing, because let's just say hypothetically an older man that's pushing 40 does get with a woman that's 19 or 20. That woman is going to become 25 shortly because the window from 18 to 25 is very short. So when your girlfriend turns 25 finally, are you going to think, oh yeah, she's less pretty, she's 25, she got all these wrinkles and shit. So I'm not going to pedestalize male validation if they only see me valuable for 6 years of my life. 6 years of my life, 6 years is very insignificant compared to the lifespan of a woman that lives to be 80 something. And this proves that a lot of men and these podcast clowns actually really don't value women outside of sex. They don't think women are valuable outside of sex. And Myron Gaines has said this himself, that women do not provide much value to relationships and society outside of sex. He also said he doesn't care about women's opinions and that men in general don't care about women's opinions and that women should just shut up. So why should I center a group of men that don't care about the type of person I am inwardly? You only care if I'm hot enough to fuck. Looks do matter to a degree because they do attract you to the person, but I don't want the man that I'm with to only value me for what I look like and not care about my opinions or who I am inwardly or my interests. That's just dumb. And if the majority of men are like this, as he says, then those men are not worthy to be on a pedestal or worthy to have our full attention. So that is the conclusion of this video. There will be a part 2 because I do have a lot more to say on this subject matter. But for now, I'm Akila Shea. If you want more content like this, please follow the Dark Skin Clique, and I'll catch you in the next one.